Hello students, my name is Niyati Said and thanks for watching Wikipedia word videos. My topic for the presentation is the first section of Structural Organization in Animals chapter. I will be teaching you epithelial tissue in detail today. So, in the preceding chapters, you came across a large variety of organisms, both unicellular and multicellular of the animal kingdom. In the unicellular organisms, all functions like digestion, respiration, reproduction, they all are performed by a single cell. Okay? In the complex body of the multicellular animals, the same basic functions are carried out by different groups of cells in a well-organized manner. The body of a simple organism like Hydra is made up of different types of cells, and number of cells in each type can be in thousands. As we know, the human body is composed of billions of cells to perform various functions. How do these cells in body work together? Have you ever wondered? In multicellular animals like humans, a group of similar cells along with intercellular substances perform a specific function. Such an organization is called as tissue. So what is tissue? Tissue is a group of similar cells having a specific function and origin. Okay? You may be surprised to know that all complex animals, they consist of only 4 basic types of tissues, which are those epithelial, connective, muscular and neural. These tissues are organized in a specific proportion and pattern to form an organ like stomach, lungs, heart and kidney. As we very well know that aggregation of tissue, they form organ. Aggregation of several organs, they form organ system. And various type of organ system, they form an organism like us. Okay? So these cells, they are organized, these tissue, they are organized in a specific proportion and pattern to form an organ like stomach, lung, heart and kidney. When 2 or more organs, they perform a common function by their physical or chemical interaction, they together form organ system. For example, digestive system, respiratory system, etc. Cells, tissues, organs and organ system, they split up the work in a way that exhibits division of labor, and it contributes to the survival of the body as a whole. That means all aggregations like cell, be it tissue, be it organ, be it organ system, they all split up the work in a way that exhibits division of labor. That means labor has been divided, okay, and that contribute to the survival of an organism as a whole. Okay. Okay, as I have told you that the structure of the cells, they vary according to their functions. Therefore, the tissue are different and they are broadly classified into 4 types. Which are those 4 types? First is your epithelial, second is your connective, third is your muscular and fourth is your neural. Okay, so epithelial tissue will be studying in detail in this presentation, and rest tissue such as connective tissue, muscular tissue and neural tissue will be studying in my next section of my presentation. Okay, so let's focus on epithelial tissue. We commonly refer to an epithelial tissue as epithelium. Okay, this tissue has a This tissue has a free surface which faces either a body fluid or outside environment, and thus it provides a covering or lining for some part of the body. Okay, the cells, they are very compactly packed. As you can see, can you see any intercellular spaces between them? No. So all these cells, they are very compactly packed with a little intercellular matrix. There are two types of epithelial tissue present. Which are those? First is your simple epithelium and second is your compound epithelium. Okay. So epithelium tissue, they are of two types: simple, and which is composed of a single layer, and the compound, which is composed of multi-layered. Simple epithelium is composed of only single layer of cells, and they function as a lining for body cavities, ducts and tubes. What about the compound epithelium? Compound epithelium, it consists of two or more cell layers, and it has protective function as it does in our skin. Okay. Now, on the basis of the structural modification of the cells, simple epithelium means the one which is composed of single layer of cells, and it lines body cavities, ducts and tubes. So on the basis of the structural modification of the cells, your simple epithelium is further divided into three types. Which are those? First is your squamous, second is your cuboidal, and third is your columnar. Okay, so these are on the basis of the structural modification of the cells, that simple epithelium is divided into three types: squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium and columnar epithelium. Squamous, it is made up of thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. We'll be seeing the diagram. Okay, and it is found in the walls of the blood vessels and air sacs of lungs, and they are involved in functions like forming a diffusion boundary, etc. What about cuboidal epithelium? Cuboidal epithelium, in this cells, it is cuboidal epithelium is also composed of a single layer of cube-like cells. Means all cells are cube in structure. Okay, this is commonly found in ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephrons in kidney. And what is its main function? Main function is secretion and absorption. Okay, and now comes columnar epithelium. Columnar epithelium means the cells of this tissue, they are columnar in shape. That means they are tall, they are slender. Okay, and it is composed of a single layer of tall and slender cells. And what is the distinguishing feature of columnar epithelium? Is that their nuclei, they are located only at the base, be it upper base or be it lower base, but nuclei is never present in between. Okay, never. And columnar epithelium free surface may have microvilli also. Now let's see it in detail. First division of simple epithelium is your squamous epithelium. Okay, so squamous epithelium, it is made up of, as you can see in this diagram, that it is made up of a single thin layer of flattened cells with irregular boundaries. Can you see the regular boundaries? No, all boundaries are irregular in shape. They are found in the walls of blood vessels and air sacs of lungs, and they are involved in functions like forming a diffusion boundary. Okay, so this is the function of it. Now comes second division of simple epithelium, which is that cuboidal epithelium, students. See, all cells of this tissue, they are cubical in shape. All are in cube-like cells, and this is composed of cube-like cells. They are found in ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephron, which is present in our kidney. What is the main function of it, students? secretion and absorption. Okay, let's see its function in detail. As we very well know that cuboidal epithelium, it lines the surface of the various ducts of various glands and organs. Simple cuboidal cells, they are able to provide a layer of protection from abrasion, foreign particles, invading bacteria, and excessive water loss. Okay, and in the kidney tubules, the cells, they help in absorption and transport of filtered substance. In the kidney tubules, these cells, they aid in absorption and transportation of filtered substance, because I have told you that cuboidal epithelium cells, their main function is secretion and absorption. Okay, now comes columnar epithelium, which is the third division of a simple epithelium. Okay, so it is composed of a single layer of tall and slender cells like this. See, these cells are tall and slender in look. Okay, and their nuclei are always located at the base, be it the above base or be it the lower base. See, the nuclei are present at the base. These green colors are its nucleus. They are found in the lining of stomach, intestine, and they help in secretion and absorption. Okay, so their nuclei is always present at the base, which is a distinguishing feature of a columnar epithelium, and their free surface may have microvilli. See, this is their free surface. This pink part is their free surface. So they may have microvilli also, which helps in absorption. Okay, and where this is found, this columnar epithelium is found in lining of a stomach and intestine. Okay, now if the columnar or cuboidal cells, they bear cilia on their free surface, they are called as ciliated epithelium. Okay, they are called as ciliated epithelium. Their function is to move particles or the mucus in a specific direction over the epithelia. They are mainly present in the inner surface of a hollow organ like bronchioles and fallopian tube. Okay, so they bear cilia on their free surface. They present in the inner surface of the hollow organs like bronchioles and fallopian tube. What is their function? To move particle or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. Okay, now let's see its diagram. As I have told you, if columnar epithelium bears cilia, then they are known as ciliated columnar epithelium, and if cuboidal cell they bear cilia, then they are called as ciliated cuboidal epithelium. So which one is this? This is your ciliated columnar epithelium. See, they are bearing cilia over it. And what are these? These are its nucleuses. Okay, and what is this? This is your tall and slender cells, which is also known as columnar cell. And aggregation of columnar cells, it makes columnar epithelium tissue. And what is the distinguishing feature of this columnar epithelium, students? That their nucleus, they are always present at the base. Okay, now some of the columnar or cuboidal cells, they get specialized for secretion, and they are called as glandular epithelium. Okay, they are called as glandular epithelium. They are mainly of two types. Which are those? First is your unicellular, and second is your multicellular. Okay, so the cells which they get specialized for secretion, and they are of two types. First is your unicellular and second is your multicellular. Unicellular, that means it consists of isolated glandular cells. See, this is your unicellular gland, this is your multicellular gland. Example of unicellular gland is goblet cells. They are present in our alimentary canal. Okay, an example of multicellular is that they consist of cluster of cells. For example, salivary glands. Okay, On the basis of their mode of the pouring of their secretions, glands are divided into two categories, namely exocrine and endocrine. I'm again repeating. On the basis of the mode of pouring of their secretions, glands are divided into two categories. First is your endocrine and second is your exocrine glands. Okay. So the function of glandular epithelial cell is directly related to their location, where they are present. If they are present and they are secreting at that site only, then they are known as exocrine glands. So exocrine gland, they hold secretion for lining and covering of the body until the secretions are needed, at which time the cells follow the above secretion mechanism. And now comes endocrine gland. They control hormone production process, enclosing the formed hormones until they are needed in the body. Now comes, based on the mode of pouring, first is your exocrine gland, that they release secretion through their ducts, and the one which does not require duct, they are known as endocrine glands. That's why they are also known as ductless glands. So exocrine glands, they release secretion through ducts. Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax, oil, milk and digestive enzymes. And what about endocrine gland? That they produce hormones. Okay, they produce hormones. And they are also called as ductless glands because they don't require ducts for pouring their secretions. Okay, and their product is called as hormone, which are secreted directly into the fluid bathing the gland. Okay, now let's see endocrine glands in detail. Endocrine glands, the hormones, as we know, these are the products of the endocrine gland. Hormones, they coordinate, they integrate and regulate interdependent processes around the body. And these hormones, they are secreted by endocrine system. And as we know that they are ductless glands, so they do not have ducts. Their secretions are secreted into the bloodstream. Because of this, hormone can act over long distance because they can travel with the blood, and that's the reason they can travel a long distance, and thus they can reach any organ in the body to coordinate activity. And for example, TSH is your thyroid stimulating hormone. It goes a long way to act on the target organ. Which is that target organ? Target organ is your thyroid here. So often there is a specific target organ on which the hormone acts on. Okay, and this long range activity is also called as neuroendocrine. That means it has to come long way to act on the target organ. So that is also known as neuroendocrine. Okay, and some short range endocrine activity can also occur in digestive system. Okay, and this is called as paracrine activity. Now comes exocrine gland. Exocrine glands have ducts. Okay, they have ducts that they secrete onto a surface. For example of exocrine glands are sebaceous glands, sweat glands, salivary glands and Brunner glands. Have you ever noticed that even after washing your hairs, just after 2-3 days, oil comes into your hair automatically? What is that? That is the action of the sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands, they are present in the hair follicles of our scalp, and likewise sweat glands also secrete sweat in our skin. Salivary glands, Brunner glands, they all are the examples of exocrine glands that they secrete onto a surface. Okay, they don't have to run a long way to act on the target organ. It is just that they secrete onto a surface. Okay, and exocrine glands may be unicellular or multicellular. The only unicellular exocrine glands are found in human, and that is our goblet cells. Goblet cells, they are present in the alimentary canal of humans. Okay. Now comes exocrine gland. They are often the only glands which are associated with the term glandular epithelium. So these glands, as I have told you, that they are divided in on the basis of the number of the cells. They are divided into two, which are those unicellular and multicellular glands. So unicellular glands, they are made up of only one glandular epithelium cell, which is called as intraepithelial cell. And multicellular gland, on contrast to unicellular glands, they make up only one gland, and they are called as extraepithelial cell. What is the example of unicellular gland? Goblet cell. And what is the example of multicellular gland? Is that it includes secretory sheets in the human stomach. Now comes, what's the difference between exocrine and endocrine gland? Endocrine, as I have told you, that they are ductless glands. Exocrine, that they require duct to release their products. In endocrine, secretions are directed into the extracellular fluid and they move into the vascular system. That means are in our blood system. Whereas in contrast to endocrine, exocrine glands, their secretions, they are released to the apical cell surface and they move out of ducts to outside environment. Okay, so this was the major difference between endocrine and exocrine. Now comes compound epithelium. As I have told you that epithelium are of two types. First is your simple epithelium and second is your compound epithelium. Simple epithelium we have already studied, and that it was of three divisions: squamous, cuboidal and columnar. So this completes with the simple epithelium. Now move on to compound epithelium. Compound epithelium, they are composed of more than one layer, that is multi-layered, of cells, and thus they have limited role in secretion and absorption. Okay. What is their main function, students? Main function is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. They cover the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of the buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands and of pancreatic ducts. Okay. All cells in epithelium, they are held together with a little intercellular material. Okay. But before that, let's go through its point, that it is composed of a multi-layered cells. Limited role in secretion and absorption is seen of compound epithelium, that they cover the dry surface of the skin, the moist surface of the buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands and pancreatic ducts, and their function is to protect against chemical and mechanical stresses. This is our multi-layered cell, which is also known as compound epithelium. Okay. Now, as I have told you that all cells in epithelium, they are held together with a little intercellular material. In nearly all animal cells or animal tissues, specialized junction, they provide both structural as well as functional link between its individual cells. Three types of cell junctions are found in epithelium and other tissues. Which are those? These are called as tight junction, adhering junction and gap junction. Okay. So, tight junction, it helps to stop substances from leaking across our tissue. That means it doesn't allow anything to leak out or leak across a tissue. Now comes another, which is called as the second type, which is known as adhering junction, which performs cementing to keep neighboring cells together. It keeps neighboring cells together. That means it acts like a cementing. Okay, as cement is required to bind two bricks, just like these adhering junctions, they perform cementing to keep neighboring cells together. Okay, And then comes gap junction. Gap junction, they facilitate the cell to communicate with each other. That means through these gap junctions, two cells, they communicate with each other. And how do they communicate? By connecting the cytoplasm of the adjoining cell. What is cytoplasm? Cytoplasm is a watery fluid. Okay, it is a watery fluid. So it connects the cytoplasm of the adjoining cells. And what's the outcome of connecting the cytoplasm of the adjoining cell? Is for the rapid transfer of ions, small molecules, and sometimes bigger molecules. Okay, so these cell junctions, they all cells in the epithelium, they are very held together with a little intercellular material, and in nearly all animal tissue specialized junctions, they provide both structural as well as functional link between its individual cells. And there are three types of cell junctions which are found in epithelium and other tissue. They are called as tight junction, adhering junctions, and gap junction. Student, this is very important from your exam point of view. It is always asked in PMT exams also. So tight junction, they help to stop substances from leaking across a tissue. That means it doesn't allow anything to leak across the tissue. And adhering junction, they act like a cement for adhering to neighboring cells. And what about gap junction? That they facilitate the cells to communicate with each other by connecting the cytoplasm, which is a watery fluid of cells, of the adjoining cells. And why do they connect the cytoplasm of the adjoining cell? It is for the rapid transfer of ions and big molecules, a small molecule and sometimes big molecule. So this was all about epithelium tissue. In my next section of my presentation, we'll be studying about the connective tissue, muscular tissue, and neural tissue. So till then, stay tuned and keep watching ATPedia Word videos.